fly it around. If you want to drop down lower, we can do that.
Let's drop down lower.
You got it. As you know, have you taken your written test for your private yet?
I have not.
The rule that we have in aviation is we have to stay 500 feet away from any person or property. And that's one rule. The other one is if the engine was to sputter and we would have to make a precautionary landing, we would have to have a suitable landing strip ahead of us anywhere. And, you know, you can see here, there's nothing out here. So let's go down to 500 feet.
All right.
And we can land anywhere we wanted to out here. And I've actually landed on the field back here behind us on purpose.
Like, without an emergency?
Yeah, there's the farmer's field. There's a farmer's house right there. Do you see it?
Yep.
He asked me to come on out here. He was having a big party. He said, would you bring your planes out here and do rides in my field? And I'm like, yeah. So I came out here with some cones, and I knew which way the wind was blowing, had my iPhone, and laid out a little runway, and we sold rides out of there all day. It was kind of cool. That's, you know what, that's no different than what they did back in the old days.
What's the landing distance for one of these things?
I don't know, about 1,000 feet or so. Cool. We'll bring the power back in here. It's something you don't get to do too often right here.
Oh, yeah.
So the deal was you'd fly the Stearman for right around 65 hours in your primary training course. Once you graduated from the Stearman, you would go into an airplane called a PT-17. That's the one you learn how to fly at night. That's the one you learn how to fly in bad weather. Formation training in those as well, advanced aerobatics, 100 hours. From that, the T6, you know what those are, SNJs, T6s.
Oh, yeah.
AT6, advanced trainer, and then from there you go into the fighter. So there's a 4-step process. Generally that training took about 9 months to complete. And then you fly the Mustang for about 100 hours, and so you got about, let's say, 450 hours total time, and you are now in combat.
Wow.
Which was a lot more time than the English had or the Germans had, believe it or not, or the Japanese had. But I think you like my toy.
I do.
You know what's cool about this plane? It's kind of a special thing to me. My father actually bought this airplane when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
It was a crop duster out in Central California. It took him 18 years to restore it, so he finally flew it when I was 24. And then I started flying it in the summer times, and I played in it when I was 10 years old, 12 years old. I would climb in the fuselage and play like I was a Stearman pilot. And it flies really, really nice for a Stearman. I've flown 5 different Stearmans, and this one, for whatever reason, flies the best.
How much are they nowadays?
You know, it's kind of a supply and demand thing. There's a lot of Stearmans out in the world for sale, which brings the price down. So, I don't know, 85,000, 90,000 buys a, you know, a fairly decent one. If you want a top-of-the-line one, it's going to cost about 140,000. There's a road right ahead of you. This is the limit of our practice area. It's an east-west road, so we'll make a left-hand turn here. So was I exaggerating when I told you you'll never forget today?
You weren't. You were not.
It's kind of fun. It's a totally different thing than flying a Cessna up at 5,000 feet. Open cockpit. It's pretty cool. Did you like those Lazy 8s?
I did.
Let's go back up. Let's try some more of those. We got a couple more minutes before we have to head back, so we'll head on back up to about 1,000 feet.
All right.
So next time you see Rob Holland up there, you can tell him you got to fly a Boeing Stearman and you're up doing steep Lazy 8s, and he'll just smile at you. And if you want to add a little bit of power, you can add a little bit more power. There you go. We got a new airplane that we're starting this month with. It's called a Waco VPF-7, and it was used in Guatemala in the 30s actually as a trainer. But we're going to start letting people fly that. We're going to do some vertical Lazy 8s. Have to strap you to a parachute, hammerheads, loops and rolls with it. It's got a little baggage compartment, glove compartment in the front cockpit, and in that glove compartment there's a couple rolls of toilet paper, so you can actually cut toilet paper, which is kind of a fun thing to do.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, we're here at about 850 feet. Just keep on climbing. I'll go up a little bit more. Now, what I want you to do on this, if you're comfortable, just work on getting the nose up a little steeper on these lazy 8s.
All right.
All right, here we are at about 900 feet. Let's go ahead and level it out here.
Okay.
And bring the power back to 1750. Get back a little bit more, there you go. I'm looking behind you, there's nothing around us here, Robert, so let's try one to your left. So a shallow angle of bank, and bring that nose on up. There you go. Hold it right there. This is getting a little slower. This is nice. Listen how slow it is. You're right on the stall, right over the top. Beautiful. Here comes the nose. Let it speed on up going downhill, and then roll it right on through to the right.
That was fun.
Let's do one to the right.
All right.
10 degrees. Bring that nose on up. Remember on this one, add a little right rudder. There you go. Here she comes right over the top. Downhill applies. Nice job. First time I took a ride in a Stearman, I was about your age. I was 16 or 17, and the guy I went up with, he looped it, and he says, how'd you like that? And I'm like, I didn't really like that so much. He says, well, let's try this. So he rolled it, big old barn, aileron rolled. And he said, how'd you like that? And I'm like, I don't do that again. I didn't like that. And so then he did the lazy 8. And he says, how about that? And I'm like, now that I like. Let me show you one of these. It's kind of fun things. Just stay with me on the controls.
All right.
So if you're really gentle and methodical with the controls, you can just bring this thing on a little steeper. That's why they call them lazy. Look how slow this thing is over the top. And you roll it right on through the horizon.
That's awesome.
And do one to the right. Little right rudder right here over the top to help it. Downhill it comes. Anyways, those are fun. You got it. Airplane's yours. Do you have any idea where you're at right now, Robert?
Northwest of the airport.
Very good. If you look off your left wing, you're going to see the airport. Maybe you won't see it, but you see those lakes over there?
Yeah, I see that.
Let's take a left-hand turn. We'll start heading on back that way.
All right.
While we're heading back, I'm going to show you a couple of landmarks, which are kind of cool things, especially since you're flying a Stearman. As you roll the thing back to level, if you look off your right wing, you're going to see a lake over there off your right wing. That lake is called Lake Parker over in Lakeland. Back in the war days, on the west side of that lake, there was a Stearman training base there. It was called the Lodwood School of Aeronautics. The hangars are still there, believe it or not, but the runways are gone, replaced by a baseball stadium that is now the home of the Detroit Tigers for their spring training right now.
Wow.
So we had 200 Stearmans in Lakeland doing their training right here where you're at. There's Polk City down to Winter Haven all the way to Plant City. So they were right here where you're at. South of us, about 20 miles, is Bartow. P-51s and T-6s were there doing their thing. And then southeast of us, about an hour, was Sebring, Florida, and that had B-17s. So a lot of training going on here in Florida.
Wow.
Imagine being your age in 1942, looking up at the sky, warplanes flying over your house every day. And at 16 years old, you would be rubbing your hands together saying, I can't wait to get to them. I want to be a pilot. All right, so here's the deal. Fantasy of Flight is off your right. You probably can see the red and white checkerboard water tower.
Yep.
We are going to land on the same runway we took off from.
Okay.
So I want you to shoot right-hand pattern for that runway. So basically, if you go, there's that big open pit mine right over there. There's that little tower there.
Yep.
Perfect. Is this kind of what you wanted to do today?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Now just keep the airplane at about 800 feet here. There you go. It's kind of nice when it's a little bit on the cool side. This thing really performs well. The summertime, believe it or not, is by far the best time of the year to fly the Stearman. You know, every day you wake up, and it's a lot warmer than this, but it's like this. It's calm. It's not real windy at all in the morning. and the thunderstorms come through in the late afternoon. And by that time, we're generally about done flying anyway. All right, so what we got our runway there. The wind's right down your runway. You can see the wind drift on the lake.
Oh, yeah.
We do not have any flaps on this aircraft, but if you bring the power back, it just falls out of the sky. Now, just leave the power right where it's at. It's fine. All right, let's make a right-hand turn here, and we'll go into our right downwind. Right, perfect, right here. Wings back to level. So how many grass strips have you landed on? You landed at Hampton.
I landed at Hampton in a helicopter.
Oh, a helicopter.
I actually haven't landed on any grass strips.
Really? Now, here's what you want to know about when you land this airplane here. I did the power off stall. I had you do the power off stall for a reason, and that reason is in the pattern to land. You don't really care about what the airspeed indicator says. You care about what the airplane sounds like. You can really hear the whistle of the wind in the wires up there. Because all you care about is keeping this thing going straight. That's all you care about.
All right.
Add a little, give me a little bit more power. There you go. Good. Now, as you come around ahead of us and off to your right, you're going to see a bluish-green water tower. When we get adjacent to that, generally that's where I have everybody start making the right face turn here.
All right. And right about nowish?
Sure.
Are we going to establish on base, or are we just going to do like a turn?
Yeah, if you want to do a base to final, that's fine. Or if you want to square it off, that's fine as well, whatever you want to do. Now, we're going to keep this up a little bit higher than you might think is normal, because if you drag the airplane in with a lot of power down low, you can't see the runway. Now, I'm going to follow through with you on this. I'm going to have you do this, okay?
Okay.
Just make sure the heels of your feet are on the floorboards.
Yep.
All right, there's your runway. We'll roll it on now. Start bringing the power back a little bit. Bring it back some more. Yeah, bring it way back. We got the runway made at this point. Now, listen to that wires. Can you hear them?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we're going to add a little power here. Just to give it a little bit over these trees. All right, we chop the power, bring the power all the way back to idle, all the way back. All right, now look straight ahead. Don't look left or right. Pick up those little wires, not wires, little runway markers. Good. Now bring the nose up here. Now keep it off the ground. Keep it off the ground. Hold it right there, right there, right there. Beautiful. Great job, Robert. Oh, you greased that motor on. Keep it going straight. Look straight ahead. It's not over yet. And it slows down and starts getting, there you go.
Wow.
Nice job. That was, you made it look easy. All right, man, make a 180 out here on the runway, take me home.
All right, to the right.
I love the fact that you just did that. I got a kick out of it. So we'll add some power and let it roll a little bit, and then all the way to the right. There you go.
Oh, look at that turning radius.
Back. You go. Well, the technique that you used right there was perfect. You know, you come down a little bit on the high side, you know, that's why I had you add a little bit of power out there, because, again, you don't want to drag it in. We got plenty of runway here. And then you come down, you arrest your rate of descent, and you just keep the thing off the ground as long as you possibly can. And you know from doing a lot of power off stalls that the thing's going to stall when this sticks in your lap.